All right, just gonna play through some games here with Heth, and we're gonna talk about the decisions and see if we can learn something about them. Recording
Yep,
now.
sounds good.
Oh, it's actually shoot. Did I leave it unrated? I hope I didn't. Okay, good.
It's unrated,
It's
you're fine.
unrated. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so what's going on here? This one's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at what fits together. This is no way to gain hostelry and then discard stuff unless you're buying it for realsies.
Yeah. This is
Like I want to trash down and play bridge trolls, but I've not got so much draw to do that. Um,
yeah.
unless I find imps from somewhere, but that seems very unlikely. I was about to say unless I'm 5-2, but nope.
Yeah. So yeah, I strongly agree with the bridge troll long term strategy. It seems like that's where it's going. Even if there's no draw, I think bridge troll is usually good enough. Because like supposing,
You only have to play half of them, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like if you're limited to a 5 card hand, if I play 4 bridge trolls one turn, 4 another turn, provinces still cost 0. Is inheritance worth it? My guess is probably not.
It's going to take a long time to get to 7, and
Yeah, like I could conceive of like maybe on 5-2 you open with a count, with the idea of maybe if you have like a high roll you could hit 7, and if not you just use the count to trash. But probably I think just skipping inheritance here is best, just because the long term goal I think doesn't involve much payload. So I would think just take a chapel.
I'm thinking of what to pair with the chapel. So
Yeah, I think
do I
that's,
want it to be something that gives me money? I'm tempted by Sculpt, but that's one extra card.
yeah, I think the choice is not totally obvious.
Oh yeah, your turn.
Yeah, I don't
We're
think.
taking turns in this game, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's potion. I mean, the coppers are all going to get trashed. There's nothing that synergizes particularly well with apothecary. Like with wishing well or something, I like apothecary even if I plan on trashing coppers, because like the ability to see your hand is good. But there's nothing like that here. I could see an argument for silver, salvager, or skulk.
Would you be not so worried about the clash with Salvager and Chapel?
Yeah, so my thought process is this: is like supposing I bought a silver, I was like, oh well, it's salvager, it's another terminal, I could buy silver instead. What happens then if my silver collides with my chapel? I've got a hand of chapel, silver, and like some number of coppers and estates. Chances are I would just play the chapel, trash 3 cards, and then the silver would be useless anyway. Even if I could play the silver, I'm not buying a second chapel or anything.
Whereas if I get the Sculpt, then I can just get rid of it, and if the gold clashes, I can still buy something.
Yeah, so my thought process is it's not particularly worse for chapel to collide with salvager than silver. And so maybe that's better because I get a little bit thinner, a little faster. Maybe I trash the chapel with the salvager later. I don't know. I think any of those 3 has an argument for it. I think Skulk is probably 3rd on my list because it's one more card that you'll eventually have to trash. I think I'm going to try salvager, but I'm not 100% confident.
I'd never thought of the kind of what if they clash versus what if the silver clashes before. That's a good thing to think about.
Considering there's a good 2 cost in the kingdom or something, like, encampment or something.
Yeah, like a couple of border guards or something, yeah.
Yeah, then silver would start to look a lot better because then getting to play the silver and buy something would be an advantage if it collided with chapel.
Yeah, so what I'm kind of now thinking, what do I actually want to reach? I'm wanting hostilities and bridge trolls and probably the sentry for filtering and getting rid of the chapel later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a punt at that one. On the clash straight up. That serves me right, doesn't it?
Alrighty, well, that's unfortunate. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, chapel with the skulk and the gold. Yeah, that's painful. That is the risk. I hit 5, though. And I don't know what I want. It seems like the main 2 options here are sentry or bridge troll, I would think. I don't know whether to bother the sentry or just go straight for the bridge trolls.
Oh, on the grounds that the chapel's coming up and is going to trash a shed load of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I could even see Tormentor, I guess. Like, if you play it once or twice and get some imps could pay off, but I think I'm probably resigning myself to playing with like a 5-card hand most turns. And I think I'll take the... I don't know. I'm going to take the Sentry. I think it's a little bit more conservative. We'll see if it works. I'm just hoping my my salvager's enough to hit 5 one more time. Because then once I got a bridge troll, that can help me get future bridge trolls and such. Now, now you have a difficult choice here.
I mean,
Yeah, that's...
I'm thinking of trashing the Skulk and taking this entry and just admitting that this was not what I wanted to happen.
I mean, so options include... I mean, you could play the Skulk and buy the Sentry, maybe get an attack. I'm not sure if any of those attacks hurt particularly much. Maybe, like, you know my Chapel's coming up, and so maybe, like, one of the discard attacks might hurt. You could trash the Skulk and 2 coppers, and then, I guess, probably a silver is still better than nothing at the moment. Yeah, none of it looks super amazing. I don't have a very strong opinion on what the best move here is.
Sure.
Just a rather unfortunate shuffle.
But one I quite clearly set myself up for.
I think the
one... I've got my 5 coppers and 3 estates coming up.
Yeah, your next hand's probably not going to be great either, unless you just bottom all the estates.
Well, given that, I'm going to try that. Yeah, you're going to get trashed very quickly now.
Oh, that's an ugly hand that you've got.
Well, it's all oh man.
Yeah, this is already kind of looking like a winning position, I think.
Yeah. I might just roll a couple more times and see what happens, but yeah. So had that been Chapel, Savage, or something else, I'd just have trashed 3 and take it from there.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said there.
So I'm just kind of thinking, had I, say, bought the Salvager and the Chapel and Salvager clash, I still get to trash 3 cards, and...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm... Yeah, like I was saying, I think that the Skulk opening was defensible, but I think between the choices,
yeah,
I think it was the third best for me, just because it adds like one more stop card to your deck. And so I think Silver or Chapel would probably my main goes, largely for this sort of reason. All right, now I have a question for myself. I have 2 coppers to trash, and if I trash them both, am I over trashing? Let's see. I will have... In my hand, I've got Chapel, Salvager, 2 coppers, and Estate, which is 5 stop cards. I think I can afford to trash both of these, because I know I can draw 5 cards total. And if I trash one more card with the Salvager, then buy one more card, I'll still be at 5 cards. And so now I'm guaranteed to draw my deck.
And this is the kind of thinking I need to think about as well, because the concept of how many stop cards, how many draw cards, etc. It's not something I'm currently kind of just tracking in my head as a matter of course.
I think with Chapel in particular, it's very easy to get over-trashed. Because, like, you know, step 1 is just, like, trash all the coppers on the stage, but sometimes you do that, like, 2 or 3 times, and you're like, oh, wait, I've got 2 coppers left, and you have to, like, buy a copper back and then buy a silver and build back up. And so it's helpful to think, like, how many cards can I afford to trash? So I'm going to kill the Chapel now, I think.
Yeah. And now these are all working really well together for you, because you're going to make Bridge Troll.
I think I should take Bridge Troll. Even though I can't play Salvager with the Bridge Troll, I'll just neglect to play Salvager for 1 turn. I didn't even notice. You'd taken a second Chapel?
Just in case. I mean, it's going now.
Yeah, my thought process would probably be just to have passed that turn. I didn't even notice that you bought that. Just because, I don't know, especially with a Sentry already, the second Chapel is probably just one more card to trash with your first Chapel. So now I need one more bridge troll. And then I'll need a village after this so I can play my bridge troll and my salvager.
Yeah, and I've got my -1 coin token. And I need to remember what my last card is. It's an estate, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, it's got to be. You have 1 point.
Yeah.
So will you be over trashed? Let's see. You've got chapel, 2 coppers, gold.
Yeah. So if I trash, it's the -1 coin token I'm worried about. So if I trash one of these and then draw it, trash the estate.
Yeah, my thought process would be
Way
only
up to
trash
5.
one of those, because if you trash both, you actually you could still trash the estate because you could trash with your chapel anyway. Yeah, I think I'd just trash 1 though because hitting 5
Yeah,
just seems
exactly.
important. Yeah.
I'm player 2 and turn or 2 behind now.
Yeah.
It may cease to be interesting very soon. Then we can always play another one.
Yeah. You don't need to play it out, longer than required. So I need Hostery here. I could take 1 and then take 2 horses, but I only have 5 stop cards, so I don't think I actually need the draw. Might as well just take 2 of them now, because I'll eventually need them.
But that was what I was missing when I looked at the board at first. It was that Troll reduces Hostery sufficiently that horses are possible. Yes.
Now, that being said, I don't think you actually want to play around like Hostery as draw, because the problem is like you have to have coppers or treasures to discard to it. And so a horse is like net 1 draw for you. It says +2 draw, but it itself takes up.
It replaces itself, yeah.
And you have to have a copper in your hand to get the horse. And so it ends up sort of just like spinning in circles if you like keep coppers around to get horses, which then draw the coppers to get you more horses. And so it's good to do if you've got the coppers anyway, you'd rather convert it to draw. But it'd be better to just trash the coppers and then have fewer stop cards.
Or if you happen to buy a Skulk at the start and everything now costs 0 because it went swimmingly well and you didn't draw all your stuff at the start. So Chapel is going. Troll's going to take everything down by 1, and then I'll have -1 card. So I think I can trash them both.
Yeah. Let's see. Definitely seems like a good time to trash.
Oh no, that was the wrong button. That was the end buys button. That was not the right one. Should I have? Yeah. This is where I am at. I don't think I could have gained anything by that other copper sticking around unless I'm now thinking actually 2 or 3 moves ahead and how much do I need in the future. Yeah,
agreed. Next turn would definitely have been a bridge troll buy. And so then what happens 2 turns from then? You'd have either 4 money or 5 money, and everything would cost 2 less. It actually...
And by that point, I need a Hostery or 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think that trashing was probably fine, because I was thinking like, oh, well, you could just buy Bridge Troll plus Hostery if you had 5 left over. But then you'd have 1 stop card too many in any case. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure whether trashing that copper was good or not.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if, like, kind of towards the end, there's some kind of nuance of having a band instead of one of the Hosteries and then being able to get you an extra buy or something like that. But probably, because Salvager won't help because everything will cost nothing.
I think Band of Misfits... sorry, what was that last part about Skulk?
I'm saying Skulk might do something for me, but then if all the hostilities have gone, then Band's just useless again. Yeah.
Yeah, so on the one hand, I could see an argument that like maybe there's a scenario where you've got like 2 sentries, right?
Yes.
Like maybe you salvage a sentry to get like a short-term spike in money to catch up on bridge trolls. Alternatively, the issue with Band of Misfits, I guess it's twofold. First is, if the Hostery is empty, it can't play them. But secondly, if you get enough bridge trolls in play, it can't play them. If you have 5 bridge trolls in play,
less.
Actually, Hostery will no longer be cheaper than Band of Misfits, and that's something that you might have to worry about. Okay, so Oh, I can't actually trash this copper if I want to afford another bridge troll. So do I just play the treasures or do I trash the silver?
Could you swap the orders? So, oh no, if you want to trash the silver, I guess you want to play that before the bridge troll then.
So if I... Oh... That's actually a good point. I played the bridge troll too early, so I guess I'm just not trashing the treasures then. I could have considered trashing the silver for the extra money. My hope here is that I can trash one of the coppers with my sentry now, and then I'll be back where I wanted to be.
That was my hope, but it's forlorn.
Yes.
This is where the extra copper might have been nice had I.
The hitting the 3+2 would have been good for.
Yeah.
So
I think I just want 2 hostelries, or however you pronounce that card.
Yeah, the problem is I think you're in exactly the position I was 2 turns ago, when I was buying the 2 hostelries, which is never a good sign.
Not really. I guess play out a few more turns and then.
Yeah, we can just re-roll a new one whenever. Copper? Oh no, I don't find the copper. So can I draw everything? I cannot. I guess it's fine to leave the copper on top. So I shall salvage the silver first and learn my lesson. And I need another bridge troll now. And advice.
Oh, I could have... If I played the other one first, I could have potentially left the sentry on top. That would have been a better thing to do, wouldn't it?
You still can, can't you?
Yeah, I don't need both actions. That's a good point. Yep. Inability to count here.
So this looks like a Pride Bridge Troll, and is silver better than nothing? I don't know.
It's given how far behind I am. I guess
fair.
I don't want it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you got a good next hand, because if you can...
If I can get rid of those coppers, I'll be...
Yeah, so how many stop cards will you have in your deck? You've got 2 Bridge Trolls in your deck, and 1 in play.
1 is play, yeah, and then I've got the 2 coppers and a silver. The gold's in hand.
Yeah, so gold. So 4 total treasures and 2 Bridge Trolls. So you're over by 1. So you would need to trash at least 1 copper, but you could still consider keeping the second copper around if needed.
So this concept of keeping track of number of stop cards.
Yeah.
I need to think about that more, and I like that. Yeah.
And I think I cannot afford to play the Salvager if I want. This is tough. So if I trash the copper, I can't afford a Bridge Troll. I kind of want to buy a Bridge Troll, so I think I just don't trash a copper. So I'll take 1 more. Now I really need to hope that I can sentry away one of those coppers next turn. And I should just take a bunch of hostelries, I guess. At the very least, it seems like it might be inconvenient for you if there's not hostelries left.
That's fair play. Well, I mean, to be fair, if you've got all the Bridge Trolls as well, then I don't really need them. So, okay. Right, I'll get rid of you. No, I couldn't have arranged to top deck that. So yeah, down here, my other copper, my silver. And I can draw them both if I want, but I ought to think first about what I want to buy. I mean, assuming I wasn't 2 turns behind already. Yep. It's still as well to go through the motions of pretending to think, right?
I think either way, playing the sentry now makes sense, because if you decide that you want to keep them both, you could play them in either order. And if you decide you wanted to trash one, you'd have to play the sentry first.
Oh yes, I was going to play the sentry first,
Yeah.
but I just thought I'd try
Yeah.
adding things up before the cards were covering the supply.
Oh,
and,
makes sense. Yeah.
and I forgot how many things were there. If I had all that, I'd have 3, 4, 5, 6 monies, -1 for the -1 coin, and everything would cost 3 less. And 4 buys, so I could.
So I would think you would probably
I could get everything, yeah.
yeah.
So that would mean I'd want to.
Maybe that actually puts you in an alright spot. I mean, certainly I think you don't want to get behind on the bridge trolls.
No.
Now, what about the number of buys I have? Can I pile out?
Can you just pile these estates or something better?
I think the answer is no, because I've got 5 bridge trolls and a salvager. Even if I can play all of those, that's only going to be
7.
I could take a tie, I guess. Oh no, I couldn't because I'm player 1. I was looking at like the chapel pile. Yeah, so I'm like a buy short of being able to threaten anything useful.
Yeah, but like pausing to buy fair earlier would just been far too slow because you need to grab all that stuff.
Now you could consider. Do you need 4 hostelries? You could consider leaving a hostelry as well if you just needed like 1 extra card worth of assurance that I didn't pile out. I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, but it's something worth thinking about. Because
you'll be scoring stuff and could potentially you've got more buys than I have, or at least you will next turn because you've got more stuff in play.
And let's see.
So you could do something that you have 1 more buy anyway with the salvager, so you'd always need to be able to trash something. But you have the sentry to trash if you need it.
Yeah, my salvager is going to be pretty bad pretty soon because I'm going to run out of things to trash.
But it was just to check if I did get rid of bridge trolls and hostilities, there wasn't something where you could get some points and lure in such a way that couldn't finish, but you were threatening to win next turn.
Yeah, I don't see a way to win next turn if you empty bridge trolls and hostilities, unless you like also bought an estate.
I may not be that friendly.
So
then I still need to decide whether I want to keep the silver and the copper. There will be the -1 coin token, which I need to remember, but I can afford the bridge trolls and the hostelries. But then, how much will the cards I actually want to buy cost?
I actually think if you don't keep the copper, you won't be able to afford the hostelry, will you? Because you'll have 4 to spend, and you'll spend all of that on the 2 bridge trolls.
Won't they cost 0?
Wait, where's the 0 come from? So this turn.
Oh man, there's already 1 in play. I'm being daft. Yes. Yeah, can't count to 3. Yes. So when right at the start when I said everything costs 3 less, I was looking at the numbers as they currently are, and then just had the wrong thing in mind entirely. Okay. Yeah.
Now I guess
2, 4, 5, 6. I need all of.
Yes. So you would need all of them to get the hostelry. That being said, I guess it's not even necessarily true that you need the hostelry, because if you've only got 5 bridge trolls, then the most hostelries you would technically need is 2 to play 3 on 1 turn and 2 on the other. Although maybe you want to play with like another terminal.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine a world where what would the other terminal be? So, like, I'm salvaging the gold or something like that. Okay. So those would cost 2 and those would cost 1. Yeah, let's.
So you're adding, I think, functionally speaking, 1 stop card here by buying the 2 bridge trolls, because you'll have 3 bridge trolls out of play instead of 2.
Yeah.
And so if you don't trash, you didn't see the copper anyway. I don't think you can afford to trash the silver, because I don't think you want to get behind on the bridge troll split.
Cool. So now I see what you mean about playing the sentry first, and if the copper just doesn't come off, I don't even have to think about it. Right. But it was good to think about it from a key perspective. Thank you. and I won't be as kind as to buy an estate and
Yeah.
still give the extra flexibility. So let's go.
Well, I couldn't find the copper that I needed. So I think I say farewell to the salvager now. Because otherwise I can't guarantee that I draw my bridge trolls.
And that's something I need to keep an eye on as well, or else I don't know how many buys you've got.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking at a bridge troll and a salvage right now. I'm definitely not trashing the bridge troll. So I guess I'm trashing the salvager. I think I had to do that. Yep, now I'm just exactly reaching the end of my deck, and there was a bridge troll in the bottom, so that could have been bad otherwise. I guess I actually could have considered just discarding the salvager and maybe keeping it around. Maybe I should undo that and think about this. I might want to discard one of those for a horse.
Yeah, no problem.
So, things that I could do. I'm considering just like buying 6 duchies and
So what do you do next? Yeah.
Yeah, so like it might take me like another turn or two to get the last 2 duchies, but then I just got like enough points that it won't matter.
And you'll have 3 in play rather than 2. Yeah.
Like our decks are much better getting duchies here than getting provinces. I'm actually considering I could even like buy the salvager back now because I want to use all my buys. What if I did like? So you've got 5 bridge trolls and nothing.
Yeah, 6 buys max. Yeah.
So 6 buys, and you've got you didn't trash anything, so you got 6 money in your deck. So supposing I bought just like 5 duchies and a hostelry and took the horse here, then you could buy 3 duchies, which would end the game, and then you would need to buy province and an estate. I think you could do that. So I probably should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be losing. This is a tough choice.
Glad to have clawed it back enough to make it interesting. I think.
Yeah. Actually, I think I want to undo this one as well. The 1 copper play.
Go for it.
Because if everything I plan on buying costs 0, I actually don't even need to get rid of the -1 coin token.
Unless you might want to next turn, but
well, bear in mind you're going to play a new bridge troll next turn.
Again. Yeah.
So I would just get it back anyway.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of having 2 horses in my deck to deal with the stop cards. So let me just take those now. So now it kind of functionally neutralizes the coppers. And so I only have 2 bridge trolls to play, so I could add like 3 more stop cards to my deck. I'm considering, what if I added like some more plus buy cards? Like I just added a few Band of Misfits or something.
And then you can choose what to play them as. And
yeah. Oh, if I'm trying to get duchies, maybe Count is even better than that.
Because it's not like you're short of actions, is it?
Mm-hmm. The thing I really want to threaten is to pile out duchies next turn. But I don't want you to be able to do that. So you could buy 6 duchies. So I could conceivably afford to buy 1 duchy now if I really wanted to. Because you couldn't do all 7 of them.
Then if I bought 6...
If you bought 6, then I would have to do like... Well, let's consider that. So you would have 6 duchies, which is 18 points. I could take the last duchy, which would be 6, and I would need to do like 2 provinces and an estate, or like province and probably a bunch of estates. 2 provinces and estates seems easier. So I probably should add some amount of money to make sure I can afford provinces, I guess, which will cost 3 each, and I will need like 7 coins to buy 2 provinces. And I've got 2 coins right now. So, I kind of like the idea of adding Count, actually. because it can gain me duchies or it can get me money for buying province. I've got plenty of hostelries to play it with.
Indeed.
And let me just double check that I counted this right. So I have 2 bridge trolls and 2 coppers, but I've got 2 horses. So I can afford to add 3 more stop cards. So this could just be like count, duchy, count. And then I think that would threaten to get me enough money to light up a province, I think. So maybe I do that. And I could add some sentries for reliability. Or actually, can I? Yeah, if I take a points lead, I can add a sentry or 2, because you couldn't pile sentries and also win. So let's just do count, duchy, count, sentry. I'm not sure I can afford to take another sentry, because you could do 5 sentries plus a province. And so I'm just going to buy nothing here, I think, because I can't buy the duchy, or you'll empty them. And nothing else looks really good. Yeah, I think I'm just getting my buys.
That wasn't really what I wanted to see. So if I discard both of these, then I'll pick up my sentry, but only be able to draw 1 unless I've got another hostelry I've forgotten about.
Let's see, what's the contents?
Have I got 4? I've got the gold, a sentry, and must be the 5th bridge roll, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so you're not gonna be able. You're either gonna miss the bridge troll or the gold. Looks like.
Well, I'd rather miss the gold if possible, but
yeah. So I think probably your best chance then is just leaving them on top, because that gives you a 50-50. If your bridge troll is higher than your gold, you draw all 3. If your gold is higher, you only draw 2. It turns out the gold is higher. I don't think there was a way to make that more likely.
Yeah, so I think I want... So here's where I need to think more clearly about the stop cards, because I could discard this and potentially have something that draws on the top at the start of my next turn, or I could have this in the top. I mean, that's if I get a next turn. I have a feeling I might not, but you never know. But I'm just kind of, we're at a close game. What would I be doing with this?
I think here I would actually leave it on top, which is
because
usually not the right answer.
Because I know I want to play it in this context.
Yeah, so, I mean, in a lot of kingdoms, even if you knew you wanted to play it, it would make sense to discard it. Like, let's say you had a bunch of draw cards or something. Like, you had a bunch of villages and smithies. You would still want your bridge troll on bottom, so you could maximize the chance of lining up villages and smithies.
Yes. And if I had gain and play, I'd want to be able to gain and play. So I'd want that off the bottom sort of keys. But in this context, we leave it on the top, because, cool. And as we discussed already, I'm in a bit of a position here.
Yeah.
Especially as I don't have all of them down.
What do you do here? I think I haven't counted it yet, but my inclination is towards just taking a province, if nothing else.
That's where I'm going as well. Yeah, so a province and potentially another sentry, and then I just hope you don't draw somehow.
Yeah,
I hope you're looking at all your counts and
exactly.
All your money.
Because taking duchies will make it easier for me, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it could be province and a sentry, and then I wonder, does adding a salvager help you or not? You will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stop cards already. My guess is it probably doesn't help you then.
I mean, it could. If I was just rolling the dice, it could be a ban rather than a salvager, in the hope that if there's ever a context where getting a curse spoon with Skulk, or trashing one of your green cards with Skulk might be a thing. I was going to get the province and then have a think about what I want.
I think the province is gotta be right.
It's then
the salvager is actually really bad now, because you're gonna have a bunch of bridge trolls in play, and so it's gonna be barely better than Skulk, maybe even worse. Granted, Skulk comes with another stop card.
Yeah, so am I then looking at something like Count, because at least that can boost my money or give me a duchy
Yeah,
if you do
I could
that.
see province count making sense.
Just going to do that and see what you do then.
We'll find out. My hand's looking pretty decent at the moment. I think I might draw. I got 4 hostelries in a count.
Then I don't want any of these other things.
And we'll see if I can pile out. Oh, well, I drew my copper, so it's looking a little less likely now. Okay. So I'm looking at hostelry and sentry. I want to leave both of those, and I want to draw the sentry first.
Because then you get to filter through one more, yes.
Yeah, so down there I have 2 coppers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got 2 coppers and 1 more bridge troll that I really want to find. And if I...
And one of the coppers is in hand, though, yes.
Yeah, one of the coppers is in hand. If I was like drawing my sentry just like into uncharted territory in my deck, the problem with sentry is like that first card you can't really control, and it's like the second and third you can.
Except here, you know, it's a distillery, right?
Yeah, so I like leaving the hostelry on top because it's just kind of like neutralizing that like random draw.
Yeah.
All right, there's my horse actually. Is it better to draw the horse or to not? Probably so. I'm probably gonna try to win this turn. I haven't counted yet, but I'm just gonna assume this wins and check afterwards. Okay. Yeah, so that's 6 buys, and I can just gain the duchies here. Gain copper, gain duchy, gain copper, gain duchy. There we go. This actually ended up being pretty close, given that I was player 1 and had definitely better shuffle luck at the start.
So, you know, so I think the take homes for me there are, it's the concept of keeping track of the stock cards and knowing what you need to work around with everything else you pick.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, the sad music was very loud there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I often hit the mute button as the game is ending because the sound, either winning or losing, is just like very loud.
I think there's a bit of a difference between the Discord sound and the minion sound. Yep.
Alrighty, what have we here?
Butterflies wave the feast, really, isn't it?
We're using analogies here that predate my knowledge of Dominion. I've never actually played with the first edition cards.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So it does mean that the Necro can just be sent back if I decide I don't want it.
It is awkward though because you actually wait. I'm actually pretty sure it doesn't work because
there's no supply pile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not even sure you'd want to do that in the first place because Estate kind of sounds worse than Necro, but you're not allowed to.
Oh yeah, because there's no good 2 costs. Yeah.
Yep. Now, granted, you know there could be situations where you take the estate to like remodel an estate or remake an estate. I mean, which would be better than remaking Necro. All of this, I guess, is kind of pointless given that it's not a legal option. But
yeah, I'm going to put the nonsense aside and look at what I should be looking at rather than the edge cases. So look at the proper stuff first. Okay, so it's annoying, like you're saying, remaking shelters, transmogrifying shelters. Annoying, but it has to be dealt with, I think. The hovel could stick around to the first province, but that doesn't sound very good. Like Armurgo, Roll Carriage, Margrave. Once you trash down, you might even be getting treasure maps with Groom and getting your economy that way. And there's lookout for trashing the guff as well. Is there some kind of trick with Camel Train where I'm cameling away the cards I want and then eventually picking up another one of them? Yeah, I guess it's what order to do stuff in, because it's like I know what cards I want. And then there's the expedition as well, so there could be some kind of
there's honestly
big turn at the end. Yeah.
There's a decent number of viable openings here. I imagine if you asked like 5 people, you'd get 5 different answers.
I mean, if I was just playing an offhand game, I'd probably have clicked on Lookout and Groom by now.
Lookout and Groom is how I was leaning. And I have a 4-3, so I'm also going to be considering like Groom Expedition. But I think that's probably worse for you, given that you've got the 3-4.
Yeah, because you're trying to hit 5. And okay, so what would the first 5 be then? Most likely Margrave, I think.
I would think Margrave.
Does the attack, yeah.
It's got that problem where like the early discard attacks make it really hard for the opponent to hit 5.
Yes.
And they just get like locked out of Margrave while you build.
Yep. I mean, there's the idea of taking silver to try and hit 5, but at the same time, Lookout just filters through all the crap so quickly because you like discard one as well.
Yeah. Now, normally Remake feels like an almost like automatic buy in the opening just because it's so good at trashing. But the combination of the shelters, and I think Ironmonger is just a card I really want a bunch of here.
Yes.
And Groom will get that. Makes me think Groom is probably the best for.
Because Ironmonger is just like actions and coins, depending what it is, and filtering.
Yeah.
And like Lookout and Ironmonger together are going to filter really quickly here.
Yeah, like you'll need a village to be able to draw. And Ironmonger can be a village on its own, although not reliably so. But it's also going to be the best target for Royal Carriage. Like if you wanted to get a village effective for Royal Carriage, you could just call that on Ironmonger. And there's really no other good action cards to call it on. You could not call it on Transmogrify or Horse, and you wouldn't necessarily want to call it on Lookout.
And I should probably think, as much as I would in a league game rather than offhand game, about like what it all looks like later. So, in an ideal world, there's plenty of villages. There's buys from Margrave. Might be draw or nasty things from Werewolf if I don't want to let you. If I get to the point where you've got carriages on the mat, and Margrave might let you sift through to have what you want in your starting hand, I might want some werewolves.
Yeah, I feel like often with Margrave you want 1 or 2, and if there's another smithy around, you take a bunch of those.
Yeah. And then at some point when drawing deck's a thing, the Groom can get a treasure map or 2. That seems to be the quickest way of getting money. I'm just wondering if there's a place for Camel Train at that point.
I'm a little uncertain between.
I want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was a little bit uncertain between Camel Train and Treasure Map as ways to add golds. That might be one of those things where like you could defer that decision until later, and just you know it's going to happen after you've got deck control. Then it's just like what's easier at the time.
I mean, I was thinking Camel Train as a way of like adding Royal Carriages or just whatever other cards I want lots of.
Yeah, I could see Camel Train having some value here.
Yeah. And then I guess I'm also thinking endgame. There's a scenario where there's lots of transmogrifies in the map and some kind of map. That's the treasure map, the mat, and then some kind of palliolite happens. But it's not something I'd want to prioritize, especially with the shelters.
Yeah, I often like transmogrify a lot. Although this is a kingdom where I'm not 100% sure you get it at any point, just because it's bad at trashing the estates or the shelters. I mean, so you don't get it early. And then there's a lot of other 4s that you kind of want that are competing with it.
Yeah. Let's see how we go.
So I'm definitely going to take the Groom. And then now I've got this choice of whether to Expedition or not. I think I should... What do you think?
I'm just saying, I've established that where the Butterfly and Necro doesn't work, so I'll grab the Groom as well.
Yep. Just do it for the sake of it. And so if I Expedition, I'll see 7 cards. That'd be nice if I saw my Groom in there, because then it would go right back into the shuffle. On the other hand, Lookout trashing is also really good. I think I'm going to try it. Okay, well, I didn't hit 5, but I did see my Groom, so probably still worth it.
So I'm thinking of doing something overcomplicated, which would be, oh no, you have to buy the estate to trash the hovel. Okay.
Yeah.
The thought was, if I groaned for estate, trash the hovel. If I drew something that let me hit 4, that's great. And if I drew the Lookout, that's great because it's less likely to bottom deck. But none of this works. So I'll grab an Ironmonger and have to think about what to do with me 3. I could So the lookout's always going to reveal 3 cards, triggering a shuffle. So if I got an expedition as well as my 4 costs, then I know I'm going to see the lookout and be what? 4 coppers, 2 shelters. Can't I add up?
Yeah, so 4 coppers, 2 shelters, and a lookout.
Oh, and the lookout, yeah.
If you expeditioned.
Yeah.
So you'll trigger a shuffle either way, because even if you didn't expedition, you'd see 1 card with the lookout.
Yeah.
My inclination is towards expeditioning, I think, because most of that stuff that's coming up is junk.
Yeah.
And so you're making more miss that shuffle.
Because then when the lookout goes, then none of the stuff in my hand. Oh, is that true?
And you'll get back around to the groom faster.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. That was where I was going, but I just lacked the eloquence to explain.
I could see an argument for camel training there as well, but I would have expeditioned. So I guess I should start in on the Ironmongers. And I'm still in the awkward spot of not having a trasher.
I need to remember the horse that appears as well with Groom. I'm just thinking of it as like Armorous at the moment, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Groom's pretty good. I was seeing some fellows argue on the Discord earlier that it might be in the top 5 of the new Menagerie cards, which that's a hot take, but I mean, if it's wrong, it's not that wrong. It's up there. So I could expedition now if I wanted to, because I know I've got junk coming up. Or I could buy another groom, or I could buy a remake, or a lookout. A lot of options. I'm very unsure.
So the remake would be to try and catch up on the trashing you've missed out on by getting rid of 2.
Right. So I'm going to be naturally very low on trashing here, and remake. I might even trash the like coppers before the shelters, just because it makes my deck thinner faster. Could be a thing that might be worth doing. And then you could like remake. You could butterfly the remake up into like a Margrave later if it outlived its utility.
Oh, good shout! Yeah, that was something I hadn't been thinking about. Yeah.
I mean, the argument for lookout is it's better at trashing the shelters, which are something you normally want to get rid of. The argument against it is it only trashes 1 at a time. Goodness me, I don't know. I'm going to take another groom. I'm going to get greedy and delay trashing a little bit. This might come back
for me last time. I'm trying. So it's not. So I'm hovering over Hovel. I'm not going to be buying a province anytime soon, and the coppers are slow to me. So that's going.
Yeah, that's clear to me.
And then the Ironmonger staying on top for filtering. I can make a pretty butterfly by doing that. And then I'm wondering whether to be inspired by your double groom, and given that I have Necropolis, or do I just get the Ironmonger? How greedy am I feeling? And once the Ironmongers have gone, grooms can be butterflied into something else if I don't want them anymore.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of plausible buys here. Expedition would be fine. Groom, Ironmonger, Transmog, Remake, Camel Train. I could really see any of them.
And Ironmongers, it's a bit like Magpie in that the more actions there are hanging out there, the more likely it is to hit one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, extra Ironmonger now gives me a bit more kind of filtering and control, but I'm just going to get greedy as well. Let's see. Oh, and horse. Can horse be butterflied? I don't think it can. Can it? It's not a supply.
Actually, I believe it can. It has a pile. It is not a supply pile, but...
Butterfly doesn't say supply, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only things you can't butterfly would be Necropolis, the zombies that start out in the trash with Necromancer because they don't have a pile, and cards you bought from the black market.
Yes, so things like Mercenary could go back and you just wouldn't... Oh, you may return to gain yeah, could I only return a mercenary if I had a poor house? Need to look at the FEQs for that, I guess. Guess I'll hunt with the Ironmonger. Oh, I drew the Necro. That's nice.
So it looks like I'd be
Um,
punished for my greed because I see both my grooms and not my necropolis.
it's a little bit sad.
So Ironmonger before
Alright.
horse is definitely the right order to play those cards in.
Yes, because it lets me filter one
Right.
more. Now, and I've discarded, so that's good. Now this part of me thinks, well, the horse is a freebie, so I might as well butterfly it to get a card I want. And part of me thinks actually getting two cards further down would be nice. But then I could always butterfly the horse, play the groom in an expedition, and see all 7 cards. I probably ought to think about what those cards are.
Yeah,
Else-
I can see both ways. Now you have a groom coming up, right?
Yes,
So I mean, there's a chance that if you draw with the horse, you just get the best of both
might.
worlds
Yeah.
because you draw the groom, then you gain a card, you get a new horse back.
And if I don't, I might hit 5 with a couple of coppers.
Yeah, I think I lean towards playing the horse here.
Yeah, and hitting 5 to get the attack in would
Right,
be
yeah.
a good thing. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, and I did get the second groom. Cool.
So this basically gets you the same thing, but with an extra horse in your deck because you'll get a horse off the gain instead of not getting a horse off the gain.
I'm still thinking of groom like ironworks. Yeah, of course. So I get 2 more horses here. Yeah. I guess the question I'm asking myself is Ironmongers or a second lookout. I think the sifting's quick enough with Ironmonger that I'll get round to the lookout soon enough, especially with the horses. So 3 Ironmongers looks good to me.
My thought would be if the goal is to get trashed faster, I would add a second remake rather than a second lookout because lookout's going to get awkward pretty soon once you've got like a bunch of good cards in your deck.
Yes.
Whereas remake, you can always in advance whether you're tracking something good before you play it.
It's a funny scenario where like I almost want to be pitting it's like supposing I had a crazy deck with no money at all, then that would be bad.
No, in this kingdom, I think you could easily afford like if you just offer me the option to like trash all of my coppers right now, I'd probably take it because you could add a bunch of economy back real fast with the
I can
groom.
get the treasure maps, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually grabbing a couple of Ironmongers and a remake could well be a thing.
Yeah, I think my choice here would be 2 Ironmongers and a remake. I could see it being 3 Ironmongers. It could be like Ironmonger remake expedition, 2 Ironmonger expedition, probably some combination of those.
That's
Yeah, a lot of options. I feel like you're in the better spot right now.
yeah. Especially if you're sat there looking at 2 grooms. I'll take the punt on the remake, and like you mentioned before, it can always be butterflied.
Yeah, so one of these grooms is not getting played.
You don't want an estate? Why not?
I'm going to pass on the estate, and I'm going to gain myself...
Just 1 point.
I can't afford to get too behind on these Ironmongers, I don't think. I'll just expedition again.
So I have a look at, but I'm just going to think about what's down there for the sake of thinking, because I've got 4 bad cards here, but I started off with 10 bad cards and I've trashed 1, so I like those odds. Oh well. Goodbye, horse. I think.
Yeah, I would think clearly, yeah. It was decent odds. Actually, perhaps... The alternative was to butterfly lookout to gain a 4 cost, which was something worth thinking about doing.
Oh no, that I've got the remake. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have gotten another Ironmonger off of it,
Yeah.
and then... I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20, and they're starting to look a lot more valuable all of a sudden.
Yeah, like, I wanted these coppers in the overgrown estate. I wanted not to see those again for a little while.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say, one of the best arguments for triggering, or for playing lookout is just it triggers a shuffle and keeps, like, over half your junk cards out of the shuffle.
So I think I'm expeditioning here.
Yeah, I would think so. Alright, my turn. Let's see what we got. Not unhappy to see that. Get to draw a free card.
Oh, free draw, yeah.
look up before horse or after? I think I would rather look out first and hit the Hovel, hopefully. And now I should put some stuff into this shuffle. Actually, it's not going to matter, is it? Yeah, I don't have enough cards to actually trigger a shuffle. I was going to say play the Grooms first to put some cards into the shuffle before I trigger it. But it's not getting triggered one way or the other. So I think I need to remake now. And I've hit 5, so I should add a Margrave. Oh, sad hand. Well, I've drawn my Margrave, but no villages.
Okay, so in terms of order here, it would be clear to me that it should be Ironmonger first, and see how many extra villages I might get.
It's not actually obvious to me.
Okay.
So
That's interesting. Say more.
So you have a bunch of action cards coming up, if I'm not mistaken, right? You have 3 coppers in the shuffle, so everything down there is an action. And so the question is, would you rather just get a guaranteed village effect off of Ironmonger? Or, let's say you play the horse first, you draw a little bit, and you play the Ironmonger once you're about to be looking at that new shuffle of cards.
See if I need an extra coin to hit Margrave or something.
Yeah, I mean, plus, one of the benefits of Ironmonger is, separate from the coin or action thing, is the ability to discard that card back down to the discard. Yep. And so you might be happy to see a copper just because you get the copper out of the way.
Okay, yes. So because I know that down here I've got a shed load of Ironmongers and another Groom, I horse first, I Ironmonger for the extra guaranteed action, and then the remaining Ironmongers can filter through what's left down there while giving me coins. And yeah, okay.
I think I lean towards playing the horse first.
Yeah. So the 3 coppers in the Vergoyne estate down there, another 3 in my hand. Trash the hovel. There's 1 more copper. Well, if it only comes back to bite me if it's the bottom card. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that
because the only way I don't get the village effect is if I play the horse, then play the Ironmonger, and it's the bottom. But then I'd like to. But there's a Necro as well. The Necro's down there.
Yes, you've got a Necro, and I think you need 1 of the Ironmongers to hit because you have 2 Grooms and a remake to play.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'd forgotten about the Necro when talking.
I'm
waffling earlier. Yeah.
I think I would play the horse first and just expect at least 1 Ironmonger to hit. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to make a difference after all because you had to play it.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, does it actually make a difference?
So here, you're going to see the copper again anyway. The question is, would you rather have a copper to be guaranteed on the top of your deck? And I assume the answer is
no. No. Just checking there wasn't. So I play the Necro, I play a Groom to put some other good stuff into the shuffle, and then play the Ironmonger.
Yeah, that's definitely an important order. Because on top of putting the card into the shuffle, like the Ironmonger, you're also putting a horse into that shuffle.
Exactly, yeah. So, and if I do hit a copper, I can always discard it, and those are at the start of my next hand. Yeah. I'm still.
Yeah, I think
I'm still Ironmongering. Yeah.
I'm very worried that I'm going to lose the Ironmonger split. Okay, so you.
I'm very aware that I've just.
Yeah, I think you're good. You've got an Ironmonger down there. You've got a horse down there, and that should be enough. I'm not sure what all else is down there, but it can't be that bad.
Yeah. I'm now thinking about you're gonna grab a couple of Ironmonger. I'm wondering whether to remake the Groom into 5 cost and buy another 5 cost. And I'm thinking, I know you've said you've got a duff hand, but I wouldn't know that in a real game. So I might be thinking you'll take at least 2 of the Ironmongers. So
my inclination here was Groom for Ironmonger and then buy Margrave, but I could see remake Copper Groom and get Margrave Royal Carriage. I could see remake 2 coppers and buy Ironmonger even.
Yeah, what I'm thinking, what am I calling the carriage on? Just, anything really, because it's just so good. Once the carriages start piling up, I actually need all the Ironmongers in the world. My thought would be no, but then the carriages come off the mat and need to be put back on.
Ironmonger is just a very good card. I think that it would actually hurt me if I do end up losing the split because, like, if you think about how you activate the Royal Carriage, you will need to have at least, like, an Ironmonger in that starting hand to call the carriages on. And you could be...
Or else it's no plus action, yeah.
Right, you might dud if you have, like, 3 carriages and a Margrave.
Oh, yeah, that I'm suitably convinced. That's good. So, yeah, we get you and another horse, and I don't see any reason not to take the Margrave.
So now my hand is Margrave, Remake, and, like, 3 junk cards. I'm considering whether to... I mean, I could play the Margrave, the main argument just being I get an attack in, or I could play the Remake and just get some trashing in. How many coppers do I have left? Let's see. All of them. Okay, I think I'm going to play the Margrave on the grounds that I have 2 coppers right now, and if I at least find 1 more copper, I can Expedition.
Yeah. So I'm in a position where I knew the bottom 2 cards were things I liked, but now I can discard the Overgrown Estate and the copper and play the Ironmonger, then play the Lookout once I know what's on the top.
Yeah, so Ironmonger will definitely help set up Lookout here.
Yeah.
The only thing it can't set up is Overgrown Estate, because if you leave that on top, it'll just draw itself. All right, it's my turn again. I was looking at it from your POV. Yeah, I still like your position here. In fact, with a decent draw here, you probably take the last 2 Ironmongers, and then I'm very sad.
Yeah, so just because it's good for me to practice, I think my bottom card is the Ironmonger again with the Groom.
Indeed.
Yes, I drew the Ironmonger and I want... I think I want to keep...
Yeah, I would leave that.
And then play another Ironmonger and see what else is on there.
Makes sense to me.
Keep that. Yeah, and then I guess I'm now thinking, is there anything that lets me set up Lookout in the knowledge? It's not like I've got a warehouse or something that I can use to discard so that the Lookout goes straight in, but then I might see the Remake and decide I don't want the Lookout anymore. Mm-hmm. So my inclination is to play the horses and see what pops up.
Well, you know,
I know there's an Ironmonger there. But...
Yeah, you at least get 1 more shot to set up with Ironmonger.
Yeah, because it might be that I want to butterfly the Lookout to get the last Ironmonger or something, just depending on how all this goes. Yep. Groom is not armory, so that does not. Oh yeah, I want you.
Good thing to see.
Yeah, and ordered.
Oh no!
I know I won't play Margrave.
I just overlooked a crucial consideration. I mean, I guess I had to do it anyway, but Margrave's going to hurt a whole lot after Expedition.
Oh, yes, because it's down to 3, isn't it? It's not like torture.
Yeah.
Oh, so no.
I'm seeing the writing on the wall, and it's not looking good.
That's all right.
Yep, there we go. Ouch. So I'm just going to pitch a ton of this stuff. I think now I have to figure out whether those bottom 3 cards of mine have junk in them, because if they do, I should keep my Lookout. Let me see. So I saw 2 coppers and an Overgrown Estate, and I've seen 3 more coppers and a Necropolis. There's definitely a copper down there, so I'll leave my Lookout.
Right, so I've got down there 4 coppers, an Overgrown Estate.
Those seem like really good odds. I think I would put
and a bunch of Ironmongers. Oh yeah, and the Remake, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to practice knowing what I've got. Yeah. Oh yeah, I trash.
I would trash the Overgrown Estate.
I can trash OG. So that'll.
It will draw whatever is not the one you're looking at. Those cards are all kind of out of place. It'll draw some card underneath.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to work out what it would do. Then I could top deck the Remake, draw out of the Ironmonger, get rid of the coppers, and
it's all looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to roll a new one, then
we can play out this turn. My guess is within a turn or 2, it'll probably be worth rolling a new one. I think probably the next turn will be helpful, because that'll be the turn where you're looking to add payload. So maybe play through that turn and then we can roll a new one.
Yeah. So now I have the Margrave. The inclination here is to grab the last 2 Ironmongers, Remake the coppers, and then try to groom some treasure maps that I maybe even get to play if I'm really lucky. But then I should think about stop cards.
So I would definitely take the Ironmongers. I'm with you on that. Something I was considering was
I'll get the horses too. Yeah, of course.
What was that?
Yeah. Oh, but you might be Butterfly in the remake. Is that what you were going to consider? Or
So that's the third option. The other option I was considering was remaking one copper and the Necropolis now. Obviously, the Necropolis remake doesn't matter too much either way. You get an estate, which you could then turn into something else, maybe. But the main reasoning was 3 kind of looks a bit better than 2 as far as like money left.
Yes.
Like honestly, even despite what we were just saying, Expedition here like wouldn't be a bad buy because it guarantees that like, you find like 3 very good cards, even if I do hit you with Margrave.
Because I know you had your Margrave last turn, and you haven't shuffled since then. Yeah.
Like even supposing like it was 100% guaranteed I was going to play my Margrave, it's still potentially nice to start with a 7-card hand because then you're going to have a better chance of finding 3 good cards.
Yeah, like when Dungeon comes back in. Yeah. Cool. That's all a really good shot.
But I also think like Way of the Butterfly remake is a possibility as well. Either of those could work.
Yeah, I'm leaning. So down at the bottom is still Guff down there. So I think I want the Expedition because otherwise I might
that's a good reason.
Just have terrible cards. Yep.
And I might actually not even hit you with it. There's a decent chance I don't. Oh, well, there's my Margrave. Right on the top.
As you say, I now have choice, and the 3 coppers can go in the bin. The 4 coppers can go in the bin.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Now, like, almost all your coppers are on the bottom.
Yeah, so I'm... Like, my trigger finger is moving towards the 4 coppers in the remake, because everything else draws stuff.
Yep, I agree with that logic.
I was then just wondering...
Yeah, I think that's pretty automatic. Like remake the stop card, Horse and Ironmonger are all very good at helping you find stuff. This is all looking very bad for me. I can gain something. I guess Transmogrify could be maybe useful. Now I've got a similar position to what you were in. 3 coppers and Necropolis. So I could remake the Necropolis and Expedition. I could take another 5 cost.
Yeah, because like you say, it's the Expedition.
Yep.
Though it's giving you the choice of what to discard if the Margrave hits, and it might be all your terrible cards like just happened to me, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the argument that could potentially change my mind would be like, I have fewer Ironmongers, so I both, A, have more value in keeping the Necropolis around, and B, want to get the Royal Carriage more highly. But I still think thinning is just important enough that I'm going to do it that way.
Okay. So again, my trigger finger would go towards Ironmonger in case the horse can be... would I be doing the horse, like remaking it or butterflying it in the future? I'm thinking of like a crazy scenario where it ends up being the horse is turned into treasure maps or something like that.
Well, also just keep in mind, like, let's say you've got just one Ironmonger and a horse for a second to make this a little bit easier. You've got like an Ironmonger and a horse, and your Margrave is like 4 cards down the shuffle. If you play the horse first and then Ironmonger, you'll end up looking at the Margrave and like keeping it on top. If you play the Ironmonger first, you can discard a junk card, play the horse, and then still draw the card.
No, that's always my gut, but I've never really thought about it in words out loud. So yeah, that's all good.
Yep.
Then we just keep all of these. I discard that. I don't think I want it. So all the junk's in the discard pile.
Yeah, that seems right.
You keep this. Right. So I guess if the worst comes to the worst, I can groom for an estate and hope to remake it later.
It's looking likely that you'll draw. Oh, it's getting close.
There really wants.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
Ouch. Now I discard lots of things.
Okay, so this is again where we put the nice things in the shuffle. We need to decide what the nice things might be. Because down there are still all those coppers in a remake. How many coppers was it? Yeah, it was your turn. 4 coppers in a remake down there, which is a bit sad. Like, I'm just wondering, is 2 treasure maps too greedy, or how? What are my odds of getting through to them?
I think 2 treasure maps still
Or
seems
am I,
too greedy to me.
yeah,
Might
or
take
am
that
I?
return.
Am I just, or am I hoping to camel train, gain a camel train, or maybe even 2, or transmogrify? Yeah, 2. So many decisions. I don't even want to trigger that shuffle.
Yeah, my thought would be
I think I
something.
probably want to get round to the remake. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just waffling out loud. Go for it.
Yeah, I was thinking of adding like. So adding things can hurt, even if you add a stop card like a remake or a transmogrify or something, because you're adding a horse as well, and so it's sort of like net neutral in
Yes.
terms of likelihood of drawing. My thought would be add like transmogrifies and or remake, because I think kind of what your deck most wants now is 5 costs at this point. Like
Yes.
another Margrave or Royal Carriage or Werewolf look way better than anything else. And so I would just take one of the $4 actions. Even if you only need like one remake, the other one can be like butterflied into a Royal Carriage or something.
Yeah, because I'm adding payload too soon before I'm drawing deck. That would be
Yeah.
would be the mistake I was making there.
Treasure
Yeah.
Map in particular, I think, has this problem where you don't want to add it, even if you can draw to it, you don't necessarily want to add it because
So,
you play the
it's on
treasure
top.
maps. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
all of it goes on top, and your next turn is shot. And so usually you want to add treasure map once you can draw through it, like play the treasure map
Yes.
mid turn and still draw the gold. So that's probably at least a turn away.
Yeah, that's a subtlety I hadn't thought about before. Thank you. So my gut's saying Team Morgan remake.
Yeah, something like that sounds good. And then hopefully you get some combination of like ability to trash cards with your remake or ability to get like another 5 cost here. That's a good card to see on top.
I will
I think I would keep
I will
that.
want to keep that. Coppers are not what I want to see anymore.
And the horse again.
And then I just want to draw through as much of this dross as I can. Yes.
Yep.
And then
So,
so I'm thinking about what's in the next hand, because if I've got a transmogrify on the mat, I might be able to kick off my turn by using it.
I think
Rather than
I already have my
making
answer, I think.
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
So I could remake, get rid of some of this dross and butterfly a transmogrifier or play it. All is down there. Oh, there's nothing. There's the second remake is down there, isn't it?
Yeah. So my thought was gonna be play the transmogrify so that potentially there's a good chance you don't have much of value in your next hand. You can remake
the copper and get expedition. Is that? Sorry, getting overexcited.
Yeah, I was going to say transmogrify the remake into like a Margrave or something if needed, or Royal Carriage, or Werewolf even. Might actually be better than Margrave. Yeah, and then you play the remake and buy Expedition, and you're probably happy. I would
I'm gonna
think.
trash the copper first and then think about what I want to turn the estate into.
Yeah.
I mean, my feeling is that camel trains more potentially of more interest than Lookout, and it can always be butterflied away into something else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Camel Train,
And
like,
then-
just gaining extra Royal Carriages or something seems really nice to me.
Yeah, and I'm happy to re-roll or call it a day or however you do.
Yeah,
However you doing this.
I,
Being really good
yeah.
for it.
I still wanted to see the payload turn. I thought was going to be interesting.
Cool.
That didn't quite happen
Okay.
yet. So maybe one turn more again.
Yeah,
I'll keep
sounds good.
Copper there, so I can trash it. I think you could consider keeping like either the remake or probably the remake is better to keep rather than the lookout, like as a transmogrified target.
Yes. So the coppers are definitely going.
Yeah.
The ironmongers are definitely staying.
Well, I was thinking a hand of like Ironmonger Margrave remake, and then you could like remake the remake or transmog the remake into like a carriage,
Draw a carriage, of course. Yes, yes, yes. That works. Cool.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about carriage after wistfully wishing for it at the start of the game.
Oh, and so I now have 3 terminals in my hand in 1 action. This is the consequence of losing the the Ironmonger split. I guess I should trash one of these. I'll trash both of these now, I guess. Take a camel train. Yeah, I think after this turn we can reroll one.
Okay, so we make our carriage. There's no reason not to put it on the mat.
I would definitely put it on the mat.
So yeah. No, I'm thinking, would there ever be a case where I wouldn't? And the answer would be if I wanted to turn it into a goal to win the game, but that's not the case here. And that's given me an action.
If there was a real threat there that like you drew like a copper or something, and you needed to call carriage on the Ironmonger to give the extra action.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean here absolutely, but I was just
here. I think I would call it on Margrave probably for the draw.
Yeah, that's I was going with that.
And now you might be able to draw all the way through. How much do you have down there?
Yeah, again, I guess I'm thinking about what I actually want to do. Think I'm making the Grims now, unless I really want lots of transmogrifiers, but I don't think so.
Yeah, something I would be thinking about right now would be potentially like remake a Grim into like a werewolf or something and just stick it in there to make sure you can draw.
Yes, I'm a bit short on draw, haven't I? Yeah. The other thing I was thinking is like, the order of playing, like say the camel train and the remake, because I could camel train something that I want and then.
Oh, I was thinking of discarding that Grim. I guess you can keep it.
Ooh. Yes, I guess where I thought I was going was like the camel train can put carriage on the mat, and then the 2 Grooms can be remade into a werewolf on a carriage. Then that does leave the coppers hanging around. So you were thinking of discarding the Grim. Is that?
Yeah, so I was thinking like, I mean, I guess there's a question of whether you want to stop before triggering the shuffle. There, I think it's a decent amount of junk, and my
there's a lot of junk.
Yeah, my thought process had been like it might be worth triggering if you first put like a werewolf or something in there to guarantee you could draw back through it.
Okay, got you. Yes, I had not. Yeah, I guess I got fixated on remaking both Grooms, like for 2 for the price of 1, and forgot that I could, just remake 1 and a copper or something.
Yeah, like I don't think it was totally obvious or anything, but in general, I was just thinking like, oh, discard the stop card and hope to draw back to it.
Yeah.
And so now would be the point where you think about whether you want to trigger that shuffle.
It looks like I can put a lot of nice stuff in there. So this is where I should be thinking about stop cards as well again, isn't it? Because like, how many werewolves do I want, and how many world carriages, and all that jazz.
So I would definitely think you play the camel train now.
Yes.
And then you could do the double Grim remake. That might be the best. Maybe it's just like 2 carriages and a werewolf or something.
Yeah, I think the carriage is more flexible than the werewolf, isn't it?
Yeah,
it can be played in anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest benefit of the carriage over the werewolf is like, so provided you can call it on a werewolf, it's basically like a werewolf plus 1 action.
Come on. That's okay because I'll have a carriage on the mat and
a carriage and a werewolf down there. Yeah, you'll be in a very good spot.
And I can expedition to make sure I've got more stuff because I.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
the treasure maps
Still
are always one turn away.
Payload, but yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this turn would probably have been the one. We can go ahead and call it here. But yeah, I think that the treasure maps are just always like, oh, the next turn we'll get to them. But it makes sense because you want to make sure you definitely got deck control before you do that.
Yes. So I guess I'm just trying to think what are my main takeaways from that. So yeah, thinking about the order of playing things like the horse and the ironmonger. Think I had that down, but yeah, there was your concept of putting nice cards in the shuffle and then triggering it and being one card closer to triggering it at that point. Yes.
Yeah, and then especially with stuff like treasure map, but in general, always you want deck control first, and then you can add payload. Because realistically, you got a decent amount of payload with those grooms, even though you don't have much money. Groom is a payload card, and so you already draw into a decent amount of stuff. All right, what have we here? So
traveling fair, but no counting hats.
Yeah. No particularly good draw. Makes me want imps, I think. I would like to get a tormentor if I could. This is awkward because with not having 5/2, my natural inclination is to open with at least one church, often two.
Yes.
But then,
and then ferret it away. Yeah.
Yeah. Once the churches are in play, then the tormentor will have trouble getting imps.
Oh, because it's in play rather than it's not like conspirator. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
That's going to be a toughie.
Doesn't go with durations.
So, I mean, I can't not get at least one church. It's just, it seems way better than all the other cards that are not 5 cost.
Yeah. Guess I'm
so
I'm trying to be good and think about it before I just start clicking things. What does it look like later on? So there's Squire and Crossroads will give actions. And we have the buys of the Squire and the Sacred Grove. So it's probably not just buy coins and buy provinces in that case. And there's, of course, Travelling Fair gives buys, but like you say, it's a draw that's a thing. So I'm just idly wondering, and this it may or may not be true, I don't know. Is this going to be one where a villain looks terrible, and then by the end of the game, someone's got 14 coffers and the other person doesn't?
I think villain seems pretty all right here. So, we were just discussing the draw, which the only way to get draw here is with imps, and you'd have to get
church if you but it's not really draw, is it? When it's church, Crossroads, but that's not.
Crossroads, I guess, is theoretically draw. Oh my goodness! Oh, we almost overlooked the strongest thing here. Crossroads plus church is actually quite a strong combo.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my god! I've actually never encountered this one in the wild before. I'm aware that it is a very strong combo. I have to remember how it works. The basic idea is you get a few crossroads and churches, and then you just set aside a crossroads and 2 estates each turn, and then you use that to kick off the draw. You play the next crossroads and draw. I forget exactly what the deck composition is, but it greens absurdly fast. Turn 6 or 7 or something, you're already buying provinces.
Crossroads loves green, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh shoot. I want to say you buy 2 churches and a few crossroads, and then a gold and a silver, and then start greening, something to that effect.
And I guess the thought would be: are any of the other cards in the kingdom useful when it comes to this?
It's possible.
Or they just get in the way, yeah.
Because all that's non-terminal, so you could add a terminal action card if you wanted villain or something. Although I'm not sure if there's room for that. I don't know. Like I said, I've never actually done the Crossroads Church combo. I never rolled it.
It's kind of Crossroads Church as Shepherd, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's very like shepherd-like in nature. Now, an interesting interaction here to think about that I don't think will come up because the Crossroads Church thing, but like if we set that aside for a second, is Squire.
Squire Tormentor or villain, yeah.
Yeah, you could easily get villain or Tormentor very cheaply by just trashing a Squire with your church at some point. I don't think we'll do that here though. Yeah, I think the Crossroads Church combo is something like 2 churches, 3 crossroads, silver, gold, start greening. I think.
And I'm also wondering if there's like subtlety with the traveling flare letting you choose letting you make sure there's going to be a crossroads there with all your estates, even if you didn't church it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm considering. So like I have the 3-4. I think you do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether like you could top deck the crossroads, but I'm not sure if you want to. My guess is you actually don't want to.
Because you need to play the church first to set the stuff aside, ideally. Yeah.
So, like, theoretically, if my church is in my turn 3 hand, then I'd really like my crossroads to be in my turn 4 hand. Because I could set up a big crossroads draw.
I'm really happy to play this and see how the combo works, yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out together. Because, like I said, I've never actually done the combo. So, I'm actually not sure if I should take crossroads. Maybe it's double church first before you do the crossroads. That's actually probably better. I think.
That feels more like how it should work.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing I'm idly wondering is if and when Reap becomes a thing. Like, just because it's on the board, is it?
Reap? My guess is there's some turn where you're going to want gold. If you have 7 rather than 6... Reap is just strictly better. Otherwise, you just buy the gold outright, and then you're probably good to go from there. So I think I want to top deck this crossroads rather than not, because I've got 2 of my 3 green cards down there.
So you've... Oh, wait, no. That was your turn. Sorry, I'm getting confused with the log there.
Yeah.
Right, so I can... Church, no, they can't top deck with Travelling Fair and buy Crossroads.
So yeah, you've got the better position here, I think, because you get to see the church turn 3. I would think that you set aside 2 things and buy Crossroads. Sounds right?
Yeah. And then I guess what I don't know about the combo is presumably I don't trash the estates because they're my draw cards.
Right. I think you do not. I shall set Crossroads and estate aside and buy a second one. I'm sure that there's got to be somewhere like on the Discord channel or somewhere Akuchi's written up some like long explanation of how Crossroads and Church works, and after this I'll have to go and look it up and see the optimal line.
So and then there's the money side of things, because I'm like in an absolutely extreme world, all 7 coppers get trashed, and although we have draw, we have no cash. I mean, I assume I'm trashing this copper, buying a Crossroads, and setting aside 3 estates. But
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. Because I mean, if you see,
I'm just wondering when the payload hangs out. Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty sure you only ever add like 2 treasures, like 1 silver and 1 gold, and then you just draw it all every single turn, and then that's going to be enough for you to province reliably from there on out.
Because I can see the 3 estates are coming in for me. Oh gosh, you've got...
Yeah, so like it's already kicking off pretty strong here.
Yeah, cool.
So I've got 5 coppers. So actually I'm not sure what I set aside here. Actually, I was going to buy a silver, because like I was saying, I think silver gold is the normal line. But if I'm going to buy a silver, buying like a Tormentor or a Villain might just be strictly better. Which attacks do I value more?
It's not like you're short on actions, is it?
Right, yeah, I'm going to have... Like, I think I want 3 crossroads ever, and then the first crossroads will cover the other 2 crossroads plus 1 action. So I'm going to set aside 3 estates. I could even consider Sacred Grove. Not that I really need the plus buy, but it actually might come in handy because I could pick up that 3rd crossroads for free.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to take the Villain. The fact that Grove gives an extra coin and plus buy does seem really good, but at the same time, the coffers that are being bankable seems like a big benefit, and the fact that it attacks. Because even if you discard a green card in this deck, that actually kind of hurts.
So I have.
Let's see what
So I got two crossroads. I'm just thinking about when to trash and when not to trash, and with Travelling Fair in the game, top decking being a thing.
My guess is you'll have a very similar turn where if you trash one card here, you'll hit 5, and then you can buy an action card as well. Alternatively, you could just like not trash and buy a gold, but I think the actions look better to me.
Yeah, so I guess in this scenario, I could set aside a crossroads and 2 estates, but actually, I want to draw to five coins and then set aside all 3 estates and get a nice card. Yeah,
right, and then you're pretty likely to see a crossroads. Now, that being said, I did exactly what you just described, and I happen to be looking at a hand of villain plus 4 coppers, which is real sad.
So the other thing I could do would be Travelling Fair and top deck this one.
I feel like the slight risk is worth it. Of like.
So my other thought was if I hadn't trashed, I could have gone Travelling Square, Crossroads, Squire. And then I'd have my extra crossroads on the top. I'd have the square that I could trash into.
That's not the other card either, yeah.
I'll grab a silver. Do you mind if I just undo and see how that plays out?
Sure.
Sorry.
If you type the / undo in the log, like that, but without spaces.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I have to switch over to the other side.
I'd forgotten how many decisions back it was. Oh, crap, sorry, it was that church, wasn't it? My bad. I just saw the word church and clicked. It's that decision. So, kind of going back, looking at this, going, oh, well, I'll probably see the other crossroads. That means I can have 6 cards and 6 coins and everything for top deck. Yes, that looks lovely, blah, blah, blah.
Let's see if this works out.
Top deck you, and
then I was thinking,
do I want to top deck you so I can trash you immediately?
That's a good question. My guess is yes, because you've got 3 estates set aside, right? So you're probably going to draw anyway.
And I've got 2 crossroads at this hand, so that looks good.
So now, do I trash a copper? I think yes. The fact that both my crossroads bottom decked is a little sad, and it seemed unlikely. But perhaps I should have considered the line that you're doing instead, because that would have made it guaranteed.
Yeah. I think I want to discard the squire so that I can draw.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to draw 3/3 and then they'll come back again. Even if I can't trash it, I can still gain a silver with it or something.
I should just take a 3rd crossroads here.
Okay, so if I trash this copper, I can draw up to the squire and then I'll get an extra coin with it anyway and can use it to gain a silver. So I think I do trash this.
Makes sense.
We church this lot away. And like you say, a silver is meant to be part of what this deck is, isn't it?
I would think, yeah. So like if you took a silver here, I mean, you could conceivably just start provincing next turn because you would have 8 money in deck. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that's better than like taking the attack. I guess it's probably Grove and or Villain is a net improvement on that. But like theoretically, I think like, with 1 silver you could start greening.
Okay, and then the question is, so it's how many crossroads does one want in one's deck, right? Because I could top deck another one, but don't
Yeah.
necessarily.
My
Yeah.
my thought would be 3 crossroads seems like the number where in general you set aside one with church with 2
Oh, of
estates.
course. Yes, but I didn't this time because I had to play the third one to reach the squire, and maybe I
Yep.
should not have done that. But here we are.
So what's the best buy here? I don't know. Could potentially just be gold. Could be one of the 5 cost actions other than harvest. It could be top decking something.
Yeah, because like the worst case scenario is I'm looking at 5 coppers and 3 estates.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of what happened to me was I saw the villain and
Yeah.
4 coppers, and now my next turn's shot as well. So how do you avoid that?
I mean, my gut would be to guarantee the crossroads on the top.
Yeah, you could potentially top deck like Crossroads plus Squire, and then the Squire cover like you'd be over terminal without the Squire, I think.
Yes, if I need the extra 2 actions to
Yep.
play enough stuff,
I think this works out.
Go for the reliability.
Actually, you could consider as well trash the Squire, and then just set aside one of the Crossroads if you end up drawing, which I think you're likely to. So I set aside. I'll set aside 3 things and spend a coffer. I think I should take a Squire now.
So trash the squire into
Wait, I've just
probably the villain, or have you just
I would think
need to undo?
I think that seems worth it, probably.
No, is this a case of stopping while I can put the crossroads with the estates? But I've got loads more down there.
Yeah, you've got 2 more Crossroads
I've
down
got
there.
4 in total, yeah. So I do.
So I think you play 1 more Crossroads, and then set aside the last
that
Crossroads
one's
and play villain.
Exactly, yeah. That's aside. Might as well play the squire for my coin and the actions, and then play villain in High Province. Yes.
Yep, that sounds good. And I now have all my Crossroads, or 2 of my Crossroads set aside, and no states.
This could just literally be start provincing because
Yes.
the villain is like the gold. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you can afford to province from here on out.
Yeah, and now I'm seeing the province, and I welcome it for once. Yeah.
And I have once this deck dies, I guess it kind of really dies, because like if I don't have the Crossroads set aside the previous turn, then I don't draw the next turn, and then I can't set aside. And so I think I'm lost here. Do I have
guess
Crossroads down there?
in the future, if I have a choice, I'll set aside the problems with the church so that the villain can't get started.
It makes sense.
If I did see it. But I guess the thing that I could look up, but the discard or whatever, is like, am I trashing the? Given that I've got the villain and the squire, am I just trashing the coppers now? My gut would be yes, but
I would think so as well.
yeah.
Yeah, because like the surplus coffers will cover you even if you end up like missing a little bit in the last few turns.
Yeah. So I have 4 crossroads, but may not. So if I don't draw to it, I know I'll see it in my next hand, so I'm safe to play this anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Play you for your actions again. Just set aside the estates because I want to play the copper to not waste my coffers. Seems okay, yeah.
That actually kind of hurts. I guess I have to discard a Crossroads. Alternative is discarding the estate and not drawing. All right.
Yeah, this is so. I mean, what does Aku do to discover these? Just play around until it occurs. So.
What was the question?
Well, I mean, I know Akushi does a lot of finding like combos and best lines and stuff like that. Like, is that just lots of fiddling around until things jump out or at them, or just any idea what the mechanics are there?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you just sort of like come across after playing. Like you fiddle around with it, you're like, oh, this works surprisingly well, and then you keep that in the back of your mind for the future. And then you learn from everyone else, like someone else will comment, like, "Oh, look at this super strong combo," and then you tuck that in the back of your mind. Like, I feel like I don't even remember. I say Akuchi at a guess because I kind of associate him mentally with like random rushes and combos and stuff. Yeah. But whoever it was discovered that. I just remember reading it at some point. I was like, "Oh, Crossroads Church, that's a thing." And yeah, So you started greening turn 7, right?
Yeah, that's just amazingly fast compared with everything we were talking about at the start of the game. Yeah, I'm happy to stop clicking and things.
My deck has not come together quite that well, so I guess this is the worst case scenario. But yeah, this seems like a pretty strong combo.
Oh, maybe I wanted those actions, but never mind.
I guess I take a silver here. Or I'll take another church. I don't know. None of it's pretty.
It just draws everything so ridiculously quickly.
And the provinces aren't even like slowing it down. If anything, they might speed it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, villain is 2 coins or more, so I have to discard an estate. Yeah, I'm very happy to stop playing this now.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to throw in the towel here.
Lovely as it feels to click in all the things. Wow, that's...
Yeah, that was a strong one.
On for one more. It's getting a bit late here, so this is probably the last one for me.
Sure, but... one more. It's not that late where I am. It's only like we're going on 5 p.m.
Ooh, nice.
I'm going to guess you're in the United Kingdom. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's this monkey again? Possibly.
All right, what do we got?
Is this one where we just agree to play without the knights because?
Yeah, sure. We can just pretend the knights aren't here.
Instead of being too random, yeah.
So, ignoring the knights, what else have we got? Captain looks real good.
Yeah, so when the settlers are gone, the actions will be limited.
Yeah,
but then it's Cursed Village, so we don't care.
Yeah, you might not take 1,000,000 captains, but I like the ability to potentially A, play to Snowy Village when you want to, and then B, like a priest mega turn could be real good here. Like you get plus buy around with Skulk and Way of the Monkey. And you could potentially generate like a lot of coins with priest. That's something worth thinking about.
Guess you'd need stuff to try. So yeah, I guess I've never managed to pull off a priest mega turn because it involves needing to be able to trash stuff.
Yeah, as you can imagine, they sort of escalate geometrically. The first one will get you 2 coins, the next one gets you 4, then 6, and so forth. And with Captain playing them would be a bit easier. Now, it's not quite enough to make that like the obvious play or anything, though. Part of what inclines me towards that is it seems like the best thing to play with Cursed Village, because you want mid-turn payload to be able to draw back up. The alternative...
Yeah, there's nothing else that works with draw to X, really, is there?
Yeah. Alternative stuff that sticks out would be like Forum plus Settlers and Bustling Village have a nice interaction.
Oh, because you discard and then pull them back up again.
Yeah, so if you set it up well, your Settlers can be labs and your Bustling Villages can be labs. And then Seer is just also kind of like generally good. That being said, like what other cards are you getting with Seer?
It would just need to be the silvers and
like silvers and settlers and like a skulk or a priest or something. Yeah, I'm not All of those sound kind of plausible, but don't necessarily jive that well with each other. Or at the very least, the Cursed Village thing doesn't work well with the rest of them. Not totally sure.
Thinking, Way of the Monkey means that we don't actually need Snowy Village for buy. I'm just
Right.
thinking about the things that wouldn't normally jump out to me because I always have to click in the ways to see what they are still. Some of them anyway.
So I think... Actually, what opening do you have? I actually can't see your hand. It's like a graphical bug. Do you have 4 coppers in an estate?
Yeah, I'm fourth. Well, sorry, I'm 4, and then I'll be Cursed Gold in the next. I was going to say 4-3, but that's a lie.
It's actually just appearing as one estate and nothing else. And so for whatever reason, the coppers are not showing up.
Okay, terrible hands.
Okay, so we have the same opening. So
Yeah, again, if it was an offhand game, I'd just click on Priest and think later. But there's a scouting party.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
Yeah, things worth considering could be like you could do like scouting party plus settlers, and then your next hand could be like. I don't know. That's not great though, because like you're triggering a shuffle, but normally the reason you want to trigger the shuffle early is because you just put a good card into it, and I don't think.
And that's not settlers, no.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking what might scouting party work with, and it might work with the settlers busting village thing later on if I wanted to discard a few things and then get them back.
I'm pretty
right
sure
up front.
turn 2 will be captain, and so the question is like, oh well, that's gonna be a priest anyway. Do you need a second priest? Maybe you could buy Skulk instead. I think I'm still leaning towards priest, and like if they collide, oh well, you played as like a Snowy Village or something. Or settlers. Oh wait, did I miss? Can I not count? I can't count. My next turn's gonna be a 5. No, I can't. Yeah, whoops.
Yes, the 3 coppers become 2 coppers. Do you want to do something else there?
No,
I mean, it will still be clicking anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think it would have affected my opening. I mean, that does make, I guess, the scouting party open a little less ridiculous because you have a chance of hitting 6 instead of 5, but 5 still seems alright. I'll just get a Seer, I guess.
Seer picks up Cursed Gold, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the priest, so it seems worth it.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to click on Seer.
So here, I could trash Cursed Gold and buy a Seer, or I could trash Copper, take a curse and buy a Captain. I think I'm going to trash the Copper and take the Captain. Not totally sure about that. But the Cursed Gold's actually less bad in the deck than the Copper is with Seer around.
There's going to be plenty of trashing between the Captain and the Priest, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so I hit 5, but don't need to get a curse to.
Yep.
So it's the kind of thing where I'd be like, Seer is nice, but there's not much in my deck it draws, but there might be in the future, and Cursed Village is a nice card, and yeah, I guess I just wouldn't have a guess at what to buy here, but...
One thing I'm thinking about is what's coming up. This could be a good time for a scouting party as well.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
You got like a Seer down there, 3 coppers, Cursed Gold, and
2 estates.
2 estates and a curse.
The curse, of course. Yeah, and that's a lot of dross, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to say scouting party, just because
scouting party silver. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if you could get back around to the priest real soon, and like your Seer might draw that. Yeah, scouting party silver, scouting party snowy, scouting party settlers, something like that. I think is what I like the most here.
Yeah. So the reason my gut was silver was, if the priest gets back round to that, and it makes me more likely to afford a captain. But
yeah, I think the silver is probably my top choice.
We can get rid of you.
Alrighty, what do I draw? And I got to find my priest as well. I think I might have to consider doing the same thing. What do I have down there? I have a captain. So in my hand I have 3 estates. So down there is captain, curse, cursed gold, 3 coppers, I think. That's actually fine. I'm fine with all my states not being in there. So maybe I don't trigger this shuffle. And just buy something. Yeah, I think I'm just going to buy a silver.
Yes, I have one here where if I play the seer, I'll almost certainly be able to afford a captain. One, I'd hope.
Yeah, it seems real hard for you to miss.
But I could also monkey it, and then both the seer and the captain go into the shuffle, but also do 2 coppers in estate. So I think I would.
I think it's probably worth drawing. Like ideal case scenario, you draw your like priest, and then maybe you can afford it without even taking a curse or something. Plus, you would have gotten a trash in. Oh well, it misses.
It's okay, but if I'm at 8, I could scout and captain.
I think that's what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah. The captain's good because it's super flexible, and you just want them because it's a good card.
Yep.
And if it clashes with the priest, that's fine because it can be something else. So I know the priest is down there,
yeah, okay.
And that's making me wonder. Do I want to keep one of the non-coppers to trash it, or do I just go, well, coppers give me money, and I might draw one of the bad cards anyway because I've got so many of them now.
That's a good question. I will say definitely keeping the curse is better than keeping the estate if you keep one of those, because estate can get drawn by seer, whereas curse cannot.
Point, yes.
And so definitely I'm not keeping the estate. Between curse and copper, that's a hard sell. I'm not actually strongly opinionated either way.
I'll discard these. I'll hang on to the curse and trash it. Because if I end up trashing the copper, it's not going to give me any extra money this turn anyway.
Makes sense.
Yep. Order doesn't matter.
See if it pays off.
Buy RTT.
Oh. Looks like perhaps the copper was better in the end. Hindsight and all.
Yep.
So I think I just take yet another curse. This is more curses than I normally take in a cursed gold game.
Okay, well, I'm certainly trashing you. So I'm now wondering whether scouting and getting another priest is worth it, given number of curses, as you say.
Well, so what's coming up in your deck? You've got your captain in there, you've got your seer in there, but you've also got
shed load of junk.
Yeah.
I've trashed the estate and the curse, and you've trashed copper and 2 curses.
My gut reaction is just to buy a second captain because it seems like a real good card. I could definitely see the rationale in scouting as well. But
yeah, okay. It's like I say, it's getting late here, so I'll just click on things. I can feel the concentration starting to drift.
All right, let's see what I draw. Okay, this is starting to look like a good turn.
Yeah, you're trashing through there nicely.
So I have a cursed gold as well, so this could be 13 if I wanted it to, but I see no benefit to that. The options look like Scouting Party Captain or like Forum Seer. Forum Seer sounds pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I could consider like Cursed Village or something. I'm not sure if I actually still haven't made up my mind about whether I'm doing the priest thing or not.
Either way, you want to trash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, like right about now is when I might start thinking about that. Like, should I add a cursed village now, or just keep on with the seers? Mm, I think I still like the the Sears. I think we'll go this route, for me at least. It seems simple enough. Oh no! Oh goodness! My captain was the very bottom card. I'm looking at a handful of junk. Maybe that should have been a scouting party after all. This is going to be a really sad hand.
Well,
All right.
definitely Seer first.
Your hand's looking good though.
Yeah. I'm assuming I'm priesting this and
That seems right to me.
doing something nice. A monkey. Yeah, like you said earlier, this is not necessarily a game where you just keep clicking captain willy-nilly.
Right. So I have a thought on what to buy, but I'm interested in what you're thinking of.
So yeah, I'm thinking like last turn you had lots of money but no plus buy, which was a little bit sad. Or the turn before, whenever that was. But the forums, the fact forums in the game, is that's not sad as it usually would be.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a huge concern. Like normally, that is a big warning sign. It's like, oh, I'm hitting big numbers. I don't have a plus buy card yet. I should add one. The benefit in this kingdom is anything here could potentially be turned into plus buy. Like you could play your captain as a skull.
Monkey, of course. I said that at the start. This is when we're this is the getting late thing. So yeah, where my original train of thought was going was like another captain could be played as something that gives plus buy, but actually draw is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, captain's not a bad card. I was thinking forum plus settlers. It just kind of jumps out to me. Like they have a nice synergy together.
You can discard the copper, then pull it back up. Yep. So instead of forum effectively just replacing itself with one other card, you're getting two cards. Yeah.
And now I take my sad turn where I just buy settlers.
Oh, and I've got my captain hanging out. So I'm probably snowy here.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean,
one more card.
If you wanted to priest it, you could have just used the priest.
Oh, I can, yes. I forget I don't actually need actions.
Yes.
So that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, that would be a pretty big number.
Right. Oh, no, it's...
So you have two coppers and 2 from the first priest and 4 from the second. So I think that'd be 8 total.
Yeah, and then forum setups could happen again, or something else.
Yeah, forum settlers or forum snowy village maybe is better.
I'm good with priesting that.
Because like, not that you desperately needed the plus buy, but I think I'd rather use snowy village for the plus buy if I could than.
It's a waste of a captain, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Way of the Monkey is just kind of like Herbalist, which is not the strongest plus buy around.
Yeah.
I get to do the little settlers
Unless you've got capitalism and something you want to top deck, but yeah.
Let's see. Alrighty. So this should be a priest to trash the curse. I could play the cursed gold and buy forum settlers. Could just buy 2 settlers. I think I like that better. Not taking the curse.
Right. So if I play the Seer, which I think I will, then a shuffle will happen. Meaning that I'd rather discard an estate than something than 2 curses, if that's the way we're going.
Yeah, I agree with that. Estate over curse for discard seems good.
And if I was more awake, I'd have more of an idea of what my last cards were, but it is getting late.
Have you seen your captain yet this shuffle?
I've got two. Have I got two? No,
I
I've
think
just got the one.
you have two
Yeah,
captains, right? Yeah, you have a second captain down there.
oh, fine then. That's all right. Don't.
It's a nice hand.
No, I top decked. Yeah. So yeah, I could play the settlers to pull you up.
Now this captain will be had to have been played as a something else.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards Snowy Village Cosby.
Yeah, I mean it seems kind of strictly better than priest here, or than settlers here because there's no coppers in the discard.
Yeah. And then I think we're pretty obviously priesting this curse. I don't see any reason not to. Then play that much and then think. Yeah, the deck's slipping down nicely. Then so's yours.
Yep.
And it's like gets to the point where you want to play the curse goal because it gives the priest something to do, isn't it?
It's quite possible.
What do I have down there?
One
just
captain.
The one forum. You've got three of the settlers, haven't you? I've only got one.
So you've
got Snowy Village.
You have a copper down there, an estate down there, a Snowy Village, a forum, and a captain. That's 5 cards, and there's something else down there. A curse, maybe? Yeah, you have a curse down there. So copper, Snowy Village, forum, curse, captain, estate. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that's making Scouting Party quite a nice thing to do, I think.
I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but given that there's a forum there, and you're basically guaranteed to see it.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So then my next question is, what do I actually want to buy now? My 2 buys and 7 or 10 coins. Keep looking at Servander, but we're not touching him.
Yeah. Yeah, because like obviously if we were playing with knights, I imagine like the time to get knights would be around now. I'm thinking it's not quite time for payload yet this turn. Like you can still get plenty of money off of just like priest and captain and stuff if needed. My gut says Seer plus settlers. I feel like Seer is better than forum when you do have the plus buy.
I'm also wondering if there's a scenario where I'm discarding stuff with the forum that can be then picked up by the Seer.
Yeah, like if you were to...
I'm probably not quite there yet because of the amount of junk still in the deck. Yeah, and then I don't get a curse. Yeah, okay, cool.
Like I think a potential scenario for this deck long term might be if you had a bunch of silvers and you like forum through your silvers until they're in the discard, and you play the Seers at the end to draw them back up. Might be a thing that happens. Alright, so I shall trash with the priest. And I'll play this one as a skulk because I might need the plus buy. And I have another priest coming up here, which I do draw. Forum before the settlers.
Yep.
Who's more trash? Let's see. I've trashed 8. So I've trashed slightly more. But I also...
He's gained more curses, though.
Did I take 4 curses? No, we both took 3, I think.
Yeah, so you are more trashed, yeah.
Yes, I think I'm slightly on trashing, but I think you've got more cards of value in your deck with the extra forum. So I'm not totally sure who's in the lead. It seems kind of close. Alright, so I got 11 or 14 if I need it. Oh, I need to sneeze. I hate this feeling. Alright, that has passed. What do I need now? Toughy. So both my captains are coming out of play. I could take a bustling village to help play all that. Alternatively, I could just take like a snowy village for that purpose. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. Snowy. Forum. And then what's the third card? If I would like to use Scouting Party to top deck, but I don't think that quite works. I've only got 3 cards in the discard right now, and so I'd be forced to discard all of them.
You have to discard them, yeah.
Yeah, if I had
Yeah,
one,
it's not. Is it? Just discard 3.
yeah, if I had one more, I think I could consider like Scouting Party to top deck Forum and then buy a silver. Maybe just another. I don't think I want to buy a captain on this turn, even if I wanted a third captain, which I'm unsure of. This turn seems like a bad turn to get it because my other 2 captains are out of play. So I think I'm just going to take a Seer for the draw. I think if I can like triple Priest next turn, which, okay, seeing my starting hand, I can't. But like if I could have done that, that would have been enough money. All right, what do you got going on?
So again, I'd have just clicked on Priest and trashed the curse, but I just want to think if I should be doing anything else.
Yeah, that does stick out to me as the best. You don't want a Snowy Village too early, and that does seem better than Skulk.
Yeah, and Settlers are gone, so
Yep.
more of that. So I can discard my copper and pick it back up again.
Yep.
And I'm envious, but that doesn't affect Curse Gold. Yeah, I guess the reason I'm hesitating is that if I want to play Captain as Priest, then I probably want to keep the estate. Oh, but then I can always crash the copper because I'll have drawn it with Settlers. Okay, cool.
There's also you have. Let's see. You only had 2 other non-treasure junk cards, which is the Curse you just trashed and the estate. Yeah, I could definitely have seen keeping the estate around. Not sure it makes a big difference.
I'm just thinking order here, so like if I happen to draw the forum with the Snowy Village, then I do have 2, don't I?
Well, let's see. How many actions do you have left in your deck? You've got a Seer, you have Seer, 1 more Forum, 1 more Settlers.
Yes, so we work out first if it matches,
and
if the order matches.
Priest.
The captain.
And a captain in your hand. Given how many actions you have left, I would think Settlers first.
Wow. Let me just keep going.
Not bad cards to have on top.
Yeah, silver's only going to be worth 1. Yeah, it's not like I want to play the captain as something that draws one of these.
Yeah, I would think not.
And then trash another copper with this.
8 or 11. Seer plus silver. That immediately comes to mind.
Yes, because I have the 2 buys. Because I was thinking Forum Silver, then I realised that Snowy Village is a thing. Yeah, because it's like it's draw and it's payload that can be drawn by the draw. Yeah. The curse. Yeah, gaining an extra curse to gain an extra silver doesn't seem to be where I'm at.
Oh, you were going to do like Forum double silver? as the alternative?
It was just a kind of a, if playing the Curse Gold was a thing, then
Yeah.
it would just be like a greedy way of doing things. Just, yeah, taking the silver and the curse and hoping for the best.
All right, so I've hit 8. I think I'm probably going to do the same thing. I find it annoying that my captains are all going to be in play on the same turn, but not much I can do about that. I don't want to neglect to play one.
Yes, I think I'm trashing this copper, but then I need to decide on Seer or Forum. And again, I usually click on Seer, but we just want to think about that a bit more. Because then hopefully that gives me more cards that means that Forum will hurt less when I play it.
Yes, Seer is the one that strikes me as making most sense to play first.
No, I mean it's kind of what I've worked out for myself, but just it's not something I've ever chatted through with a strong player. So
the other thing that comes to mind is like, suppose a situation like this arises. I usually like if you have multiple Seers, then if there's like one or less 5 cost plus cards on top, it makes sense to like follow with another Seer. Whereas here, if you know there's multiple cards there, so there's at least one 5 your Seer is not going to draw. So here, I think it makes sense to play Forum now.
I'm glad my gut was going in the right direction. So I can discard the copper and silver and hope to pop them up again later on.
Yeah, I would think honestly any 2 of those work. I think like copper
because they're all cost 2 to 4. Yeah.
Yeah, well, copper for settlers, and then the rest for the 2 to 4.
Yeah, so it looks like
this looks
like drawing is happening.
Looks like you're going to draw for sure. Now, unfortunately, here if you play the Forum, you can't pick the copper back up with the settlers because the settlers would trigger a shuffle. But I think
I can discard like the priest and the Curse Gold and pick them up with the silver.
That's what I was about to say. It's just like discard 2 cards that aren't copper, and then you'll be fine. And now you should be drawing your deck pretty easily.
Yeah, and there's no gain in play here, so it wasn't worth looking to see if I could snowy gain something and then draw up. So yeah, we definitely play you for the actions. I think we're just priesting the heck out of this, aren't we?
Yeah, I would expect that this is just 2 priests.
Yep.
And you probably trash the copper, although you could consider trashing the cursed gold. Probably the copper. I would think your curse is actually not bad.
Like it's going to be money.
Yeah. And then don't forget to play the settlers. Oh.
Oh yes, point well made. Yes,
that third buy is actually looking really valuable here.
Yeah.
I think you need to undo one more because you ended the action phase.
Yes, and it's not explicitly mentioned in the log. Yes, we trash you, and then remember where's the monkey. It's hard at this time of night. So I need to remember most of this money was generated by priests, and I'm running out of things to trash.
Yes, this is true. Payload is looking good here.
But playing the Curse Gold so that I have more things to trash.
Yeah. I would play the Curse Gold here just to get the curse.
Yeah, because I can always get extra forums with the money.
Yep. What do you need?
So I could double forum Seer, double silver.
Double forum Seer, double silver. That sounds all right. I'm wondering if you can afford to be greedier in terms of payload. Like, replace the Seer with, I don't know, like a third silver or something. Just because I feel like with, 3 forum, 4, or it'd be 3 forums, 3 Seers. I'm not
because
sure.
Although I felt that I only just drew, I've trashed some stuff that was hard to draw, and I can discard the things that the Seers can pick up using the forums.
Like that's a plausible set of buys, but I think you could consider as well, um, like an extra silver or something. Maybe that's fine because like if you draw anyway, maybe you just play the last sphere as like Way of the Monkey, which is one less coin but one more buy,
Mm.
compared to silver. Yes, I think the double forum seal, words, double forum seer, double silver sounds fine, with the idea that optimally some of those actions just get played as Way of the Monkey at the end. Oh, that also could have lent some credence to maybe like double forum bustling village, double silver.
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
That
I
was an
forgot
idea.
that turned up again.
Oh, I don't have anything in my hand to trash, but I've got to play both my captains now. It's a little unfortunate.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, not for me, it's not. I certainly shall not complain about that hit.
No.
I'm gonna be low on money though.
I'll leave the copper hanging around to trash with the captain. And you might sculpt me at the very end, so I will top deck something I find less about you trashing.
I actually cannot sculpt you. That's both my captains right there.
Good point. Yes. Oh well.
Looks like I'm drawing everything.
Drawing all the things. Yeah.
Now, I shall be a little bit low on money here, I think, because I only get to play one priest. But I get to play 3 of these as monkeys.
But I'm a bit low on, because Way of the Monkey doesn't give an action, does it? No.
It does not.
Yeah, losing the snowy village is very sad, but
Oh yeah.
playing
again,
the captain would be bad because then I lose all my actions.
Yeah, you have a second captain though coming up, right? I assume your goal should be to play the second captain as Snowy Village, and then you should be fine. So I'm thinking I've already taken a bustling village, maybe just triple silver. Can I draw all that? I have 3 seers, but I only have the 1 forum. Just wondering if that's too greedy of me. I'll try it. I think your deck feels slightly ahead, so I'm willing to take a slightly riskier play. Then again, looking at my hand, that might have immediately hurt me. Perhaps like Forum Silver or Seer Silver was better there and safer.
Trying to remember how many seers I have.
3, I believe. Oh no, you bought 1, so you have 4 now. Let's do the Control F test. Gains
1 and 2, yeah.
a seer. J-H.
I have 4, yeah.
J-H-J. Yeah, 4 each.
And I discarded 2 silvers there, yeah. So play you first. Okay, that was good. So yeah, I'm just discarding 3 and 4 costs with the hope of picking it up later.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I have no coppers left to pick up the settlers. Okay, yeah, easy. Now is when the captain as Snowy happens, we priest the curse. And other stuff happens as monkeys. Unless there's any way I can end it here, but I don't think so. It's because the curses are low. Just 2 seers to go.
Yeah, so, the problem is the third pile. You would need like 30 coins and 6 buys, looks like. Or actually, no, you'd only need 2 buys because Forum doesn't cost to buy, but you need 30 coins.
Yeah, no, it was just the kind of the pausing to think. But yeah, I agree.
I mean, it is something that is not an unrealistic possibility. Like, you're hitting 19 here. Imagine you had a turn with more priest plays. I don't think it's out the realm of possibility to consider winning the game next turn.
Yeah, which means I also think if you can as well, but you've got no captains out.
Yeah, I definitely cannot win the game this turn. So how are you? I think I'd be thinking, like, can I put enough money in my deck to make that a threat? And the answer is probably. Like, if you got off 3 priest plays, plus the silvers you've got, I feel like that's enough to hit 30, right?
Be 2, 4, 6.
It also would help, like, if you lower the seers a little bit, then it becomes a real threat.
And I don't need the buys because it's the forums.
Right. You could, I think, given how many buys you have, I was wondering about, like, buying a forum or 2 and then buying, like...
Do I need to grab myself a village? So...
Yeah. Snowy Village seems like a reasonable thing to buy.
If I want to play lots of priests, then I need to have the space for them.
I feel like Snowy Village makes a whole lot of sense.
Sorry, headset issues there. I didn't catch any of that.
Oh, I was just saying, I think Snowy Village makes a whole lot of sense, given how many actions you'll need.
60. Yeah.
I was considering Skulk, actually, not necessarily because you want the card, but because it adds 2 things to trash, which is better than buying, like, 1 thing to trash.
Yeah.
That's something to think about.
It's looking so maybe so seer to lower the piles and so that I can draw these terrible things I'm adding to my deck before trashing them. Skulk, a Snowy Village adds to 12.
You could do, like, Seer, Snowy, Forum, Skulk, Copper. Can I do 20? So, spoiler, knowing my hand, I'm, like, very confident I can't. But,
yeah.
Maybe, like, not knowing that, my deck might theoretically threaten to do 20. So maybe Seer plus Forum would be too greedy.
I mean, my other thing is, like, if I am going to play lots of priests, maybe I actually need more than 2 or 3. Because right now I've got the 2 captains and the priest.
So let's see. This turn you played 2 cards as priest, right? The first captain and then the priest?
Yes.
And then you hit 19.
Yeah, so another one would be another 6, yes.
Yeah.
No, wait. Yes, it's 6. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be right. 2, 4, 6. And if you bought a seer, you only need to hit 25 next turn. So something like one more priest could make sense as well. Like seer, Snowy priest, Skulk, maybe.
Just going to click on them and see how much money there's left.
Now, real quick, this might be a good time to actually scouting party, right? Because you have 4 cards down there, you could guarantee a seer gets top decked.
Yes, and if I got the skull, oh no, because the rest are going to the discard, won't it?
So if you bought the Skulk, you'd be out of buys.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yes, scouting price to buy, and I wouldn't want the Skulk or the gold anyway.
Yeah.
So I can let you. On you and hope for the best.
That looks like a good starting hand. Certainly better than mine. I've got a Settlers and 4 stop cards, so it comes down to whether this draws me something good. Which it does. All right, my turn might... Nope, it doesn't continue. I'm looking at a fat lot of junk here. So I should reasonably be worried about piles. So I guess it behooves me to buy a province now. And honestly, like that's I think kind of what you wanted is like you lower the piles enough, and then I'm forced to green kind of prematurely, rather than keep building.
Right, so I don't think I can outscore you and empty piles.
I think it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Entirely.
I wouldn't rule it out without counting. So you would have to hit 31, right? Because 33. 25 plus a province would be winning for you, assuming you trash the curse.
Yes, I'd overlooked the curse when I was proclaiming that. Yes.
Yeah. So could you do 33? Maybe if you play both captains as priests, like 2, 4, 6, 8. I think that's a plausible scenario, right?
Then it's quite a risky thing to go for, given that you've had to green early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get.
There's no need to take the risk, but like you could consider like priest the gold or priest the silver now, and then see if it's possible. And like if not, you could just like take 2 provinces or something and then be safe.
Yep. And the reason I'd be priesting the gold would be so I could discard the silver being something that Seer could pick up.
Yeah, I think either silver or gold seems fine. I think I would go for it. I think I would give it a shot and see if you could do it. Because like the worst case, it's not one of those. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just given the time of night round here, then yeah, let's do it.
I was thinking like, yeah, it's also not the type of pile out where like if you mess up, you like leave piles super low and then they take it. Like where you're mid-turn gaining all the cards and you're like, oh no, I'm 1 gain short, and they have to buy 1 card. Here, if you mess up and you hit like 30 instead of 33, you just like buy 3 provinces and you're still totally safe.
That's such a good point. Yeah. Okay, I'll play you as a priest in that case. And I'm just going to priest the gold because I might need to draw the silver again at the end.
Yep.
Ooh, now we forum. What did we?
Do you have the Bustling Village or do I? Is that me?
Yeah, you've got the Bustling Village.
Yeah. I was considering whether discarding Settlers made sense, and the answer there is no.
Sure, yes. So I guess my question I'm asking myself is Settlers or Seer. I think Settlers because it gets the Seers closer to the things I know I can pick up from the discard.
You have no coppers left, right?
Correct.
I would play the Seer first anyway, because like suppose
Settlers can draw through the 5s, yeah.
Yeah. Like if you saw another hand where you had 2 5s on top or something like that, you play now 1 Settlers and then a Seer.
Yes.
Seems like the optimal order.
Because I know the curse is coming in, and then see what comes. Oh, that was good.
Now I might consider forums first. Forums with the idea of playing the Seer after you've got a discard pile of just like 3 and 4 cost cards. Yeah, I think you're gonna draw your deck now. All right, like 1 more forum, and then those Seers are both gonna draw like 4 each.
Yep.
And now we figure out whether this equals 33 or not, I think was the goal.
Oh, maths at this time of night, hey?
All right.
Actually, it's fine.
So you only need 2 buys for this. So it doesn't really matter whether you monkey stuff.
Because forum's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, so you got 4 from the next priest, 4 from the following priest. Or sorry, 6. So 4, 6... 8 from the captain, right? So that's 18 plus 2 is 20 plus...
Wait, sorry. 4, 6. The two already, another 4 makes 6. Yeah, another 6 would make 12, and another 8 would make 20, yes.
Yes, and then what would you be trashing there? Let's say theoretically the curse, the skulk, and like a settlers. Something like that. And then you would have 8 more, 28, 31. Oh, you might be just short.
And then a monkey.
Is that 32?
I think so.
Oh wow! So you're 1 coin short. I wonder if trashing
How many monkeys is it?
the gold. What if trashing the gold instead of the silver was
Oh
the
man,
key
yeah.
thing? Oh, this is close. Yeah, I think you're one coin short. Let's look at that. Yeah, right. 2, 4, 6, 8
4, 6,
is
20, 30, 31. And I would have trashed. I would have played the Snowy Village, trashed the curse, and 2 other things. So yeah, only 1 monkey at the end. That's okay. I can buy lots of properties, and then we can call it a night because it's too.
That sounds good to me.
I might as well just check our counting. Yes. Oh, there's nothing like sneaky that can happen with Skulk at the end, is there, with a buy or something? No.
You could like theoretically, like you hit Locust, you hit my captain, and if I didn't know any better, I could like gain a seer or something.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing that can happen, is there?
Yeah, unfortunately, both of my captains are in hand.
Could hit your province.
Oh downgrade. Yeah, that would actually be enough. Yeah, because then you could buy a duchy.
Yeah.
Oh no. 31.
Well, there's no other
4, 5.
other pile, is there?
I'm not seeing it.
Oh well, starting right for trashing the gold and worrying about drawing, and drawing turned out to be really easy. Yeah, no, thanks so much for this. This has been just really insightful and helpful.
Yeah, no problem.
Think about it. Thank you. Yeah, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
I would say the same, but from what I hear, it's about the end of the day over there.
Yeah, I'm going to have a nice sleep now. But yeah, thanks again, and take care.
Yeah, I will call it here. I think you're winning from this position. It looks pretty won. Good games. See you around.